employee experience has evolved over the time. Uh, why do you think it is important to integrate solutions and cater to today's modern employee expectation and meet the experience?
You can become a good to great company if your employees are happy, right? Your employees are being taken care of. And in that sense, many corporates believe that an employee is also their customer.
So I think after COVID, when work from home and the hybrid culture started, I think ITSM or the need for the improvement for the employee experience is not a luxury, it's a must to have.
Hello, you're watching CIO News. I'm Khusbhu Soni, founder and Chief Editor at CIO News. Today, on a series of modern employee and customer experience powered by Freshworks, in the series we have a very special guest, Mr. Anand, the Chief Digital and AI Officer, specifically for retail mobility segment from TVS Motors. We also have Vivek Mohanraj, Lead Account Executive for India from Freshworks. It is a pleasure to have you, Anand and Vivek. Thank you so much for joining us on this episode, and I'm very excited to learn from both of you on the customer experience and employee experience trends and best practices that are getting followed today in the industry.
It's a pleasure to be here, and thank you for the invitation.
Fantastic.
Thank you so much for the warm welcome, and it's a pleasure meeting you and Anand. Looking forward for this discussion.
Fantastic. Anand needs no introduction, but I'm going to take a few seconds to do that. Anand has 20 plus years of rich experience. He's worked with brands like Target, WNS, Genpact, Tata Steel, and many more. He has led the entire AI customer experience practices, business intelligence practices for these organizations. He's a problem solver. Anand loves to understand the customer's needs, end users' needs, and build the whole tech product stack for any organization, keeping customer as a focus. Anand, anything that you would want to add from your experience that you've like a moment that you would like to share from your whole journey of 20 years?
I've been reading a book, and the book constantly reminds me that you learn the most from your failures.
Yeah.
So failures are not bottlenecks in your career or in your life. They are great opportunities for us to learn from and get better. So that's what I try to remind myself, and try to stay curious and use every coming day as an opportunity to learn.
Absolutely, and I think your whole motto of being a problem solver, I'm sure you have a great lens to problems coming your way and then finding out solutions. So I'm sure we're gonna learn a lot from you through this whole journey of yours of 20 years. Moving on, I just want to quickly take a moment to introduce Vivek as well. Vivek has 15 plus years of experience. He has helped CIOs, CX leaders in their digital transformation journey. Vivek has worked with brands like Gupshup. Of course, he's part of Freshworks. He's also been part of Sonata Software earlier. Vivek, pleasure to have you, and really looking forward because you interact with a lot of CIOs and CX leaders. So we're keen to know from you what are the trends that you've been hearing from the industry, and of course how Freshworks is helping. So without a further ado, I would like to put this dialogue in two segments. One is modern employee experience and second is modern customer experience. To begin with, so we're talking about modern employee experience and modern customer experience. And why we're saying modern employee and customer experience is because we are in a dynamic era, right? It is today, in the last couple of years, we have seen transformation happening. We've seen human behaviors have changed. We've seen employees, working styles have changed. It is a modern era. We work with the Gen Zs and Gen X, right? So they bring a lot of different perspective of how the working has to happen. And again, when we talk about customer experience, we are typically catering to the millennials and the Gen Zs, right? So we're talking about the modern era, and hence today's topic is around modern employee and customer experience. So to begin with, Anand, I wanted to put my first question is to understand, so employee experience has evolved over the time. Why do you think it is important to integrate solutions and cater to today's modern employee expectation and meet the experience?
See, large corporates are increasingly realizing the fact that you can become a good to great company if your employees are happy, right? Your employees are being taken care of. And in that sense, many corporates believe that an employee is also their customer. And for companies to do well in this highly competitive, market and outlook, there's a very strong realization that a company with a happy set of employees are the companies that do well in the long run. And that's why companies and the company's leadership are making very strong fundamental investments in technologies that helps keep their employees being taken care of.
Right. What are some of the key benefits? I mean, so we all agree that, of course, if our employees are happy, they can cater our customers well. This is a saying that I think everybody believes. What are the key benefits that organizations can expect when they start focusing on employee experience?
See, a strong and a happy employee workforce brings high level of motivations, high level of retention, and that has a direct impact on customer experience scores like Net Promoter Score. It has a direct impact on the top line, how much revenue and a market share you're making. It has a direct impact on profitability. So a lot of research have shown there's a direct impact of key business metrics around top line, bottom line, customer experience with the motivation and satisfaction and retention levels of employees.
Right. And if you can maybe highlight some of the key benefits that they're looking at when evaluating any EX employee experience solutions. What are the key benefits that they look at basically?
So, see, the employees, like you said in your introduction, right? The employees force of today are the Gen Zs and the Gen Xs. They seek convenience in all the solutions, right? And the convenience comes from use of mobile, chatbot, some easy to use solutions. So when folks like me or my peer group, when they look for employee experience solutions, we do look for a few things. One, it should be very easy to use from a user's perspective. Then from a company perspective, it should be modular, it should be flexible, so that you can personalize these offerings to different types of customers. And by customer I actually mean employees here. So you have different types of employees, and your solution should be flexible enough to be able to take care of different types of employees. For example, TVS Motors have employees who are blue collar workers, white collar workers. Even within white collar workers, you have folks who are techies who are working on cutting edge AI solutions. Then you have employees who are not in India, employees who are Spanish speaking, or employees who are Arabic speaking, or Malaysian. So different cultures, different geographies. So the software should also be able to handle diversity, language. So yeah, those are a few things that leaders look at when they shortlist an employee experience solution.
Vivek, you interact with a lot of CIOs. what are some of the trends that you've been seeing when it comes to employee experience?
Certainly. Since I'm part of the customer acquisition team of Freshworks in India, I get to meet a lot of CIOs of companies at different scale. So irrespective of the company size, there are few common trends that prevailing in 2024, right? So I think most of the key areas Anand has already covered. Adding to those, first is to control the cost for any CIO. What is important is to control the cost. So how they, it's primarily because of the macroeconomic conditions like inflation, change in the interest rate, lack of resource, supply shortage. All of these factors are coming in play. And second is the need to improve the business process. In order to optimize the cost, there is always a need to improve the business process, bring in automations. From an IT standpoint, right, it is important for them to accelerate the business process automation. Second is introducing the ITSM platform, modernizing the IT infrastructure, and also introducing the self-serve for the end users. Then third, I would tell the Gen AI. That's the the generative AI, which is the buzzword recently. That's again a recent trend that I could see in 2024. Especially, it's picking up very rapidly, and in India, though it is not widely adopted, but definitely it's been adopted at a faster pace right now. So the Gen AI for an IT standpoint, if you see, it is to improve the employee experience. Second is to improve the agent productivity, and also for the management folks to get a better insights. The Gen AI plays a very vital role. And finally, the fourth trend that I see is the cloud adoption. Though in India it is not very matured, but definitely we are picking up, and gone are those days where security was a concern. Even highly regulated industries like the banking sector or even the healthcare for that matter have started adopting to cloud. So this is also again to primarily reduce the capex investment on the on-prem IT infra, which is not a scalable solution. So I think these are some of the things that I recently hear from the CIOs, especially in Indian market in 2024.
Sure. Yeah, I think cloud has had its own journey in terms of adoption, right? We hoping that Gen AI will as well. It's already started, picking up a lot of organizations. The early, innovators has already started, looking at Gen AI, and then of course over the time, it has its own journey. So it will over the time pick up. Okay. So Anand, we all agree to the fact that the employees' expectations have evolved over the time, right? So how are organizations, as per you, catering to this current change of employee expectations from a technological landscape? What are some of the areas that they are concentrating on?
Yeah, I'll take examples of what we are doing, right? So from a there's a saying that when a new employee joins, the first few days of experience has a lasting impact on the association, right? So employee onboarding, employee recruitment is an area where we are investing in employee experience tech. Then employee productivity improvement, employee upskilling. We partner with some of the largest tech platforms to have our software developers use generative AI to bring productivity at work. We also use tech for having virtual helplines for mental health, any kind of because today's lifestyle is busy, right? And you need to be able to provide sincere support to your employees. And then employee exit also needs to be an experience that employees should remember the organization, the employees leaving in a positive light, because each employee is an ambassador of the company that you work for. So in and the life cycle of an employee from the time he or she joins to the time the person spends a few years in all the different touch points. Tech plays a very important role, and we are trying to invest, and trying to improve the experience of our colleagues through technology.
Okay, fantastic. So I think some of the areas and the solutions that you mentioned, this goes both for employees coming to office, or it's a remote employee or a hybrid employee, right? Just trying to understand, in TVS Motors, is it a hybrid working or?
It is. So, for example, different types of skill sets have different policies.
Right.
But for example, for the area that we work in, which is software technology, AI. We work with hybrid, where we encourage our colleagues to come to office on certain days of the week.
Yeah.
But we also allow flexibility.
Right.
There are mobile softwares available for customers to be able to apply for leaves. To be able to do check-in and check-out remotely. So we are tinkering with it to make it work, because we do understand that we want to take advantage. We want to give the advantage of flexibility. At the same time, we do not want productivity to be suffered.
Yeah.
So how do you make it work both ways? How do you make it a win-win for both for the company as well as for the employees?
Okay, Vivek, you spoke about Gen AI, and if you can probably share how Gen AI can help in the ITSM segment, right, to improve employee experience. Anything that you've been seeing the trend on, or Freshworks is working upon something?
Sure. So Gen AI can definitely play a very significant role in improving the overall ITSM process, right? So if you take a sample ticket journey, right? Let's say if an employee want to reach out to any department for that matter, not only IT, any department for that matter, like how Anand was quoting, let it be onboarding request or an exit request or a travel request, whatever it could be, right? They have to reach out to some of the department heads. So before even reaching there, how Gen AI can help them is probably giving them or powering them with a self-serve portal or a chatbot over multiple platforms, where almost all the L1 queries or FAQ based queries can be handled through the self-serve model as it is, and the Gen AI can act as a first line of defense for deflecting these FAQ based queries, and the agent can really work on the L2 or a complex query. With this, right, the agent productivity is definitely getting improved. Second is, now let's say the Gen AI or the AI cannot resolve those queries, right? What it does is it transfers those query to the agent whoever is available. In that case as well, if in the recent days, what challenges I recently hear is there is a lot of to and fro's between the resolvers and the requesters, because there is no enough data. So there is a lot of time that is spent just by waiting. So here the Gen AI actually gets all the relevant information first in hand, so that the agent is given with the complete context on why the employee is reaching out to them. So there again, for the agent, it is helping out, and again, to standardize the response to all the employees across organization, the Gen AI is definitely used for rephrasing in a professional tone or casual tone, based on the seniority level, based on the peers, right? That is also being used. And lastly, for the managers who wants to really monitor or even measure the performance of their teammates, the Gen AI can definitely read between the lines of the reports and give the necessary metrics for them to take a prescribed call. This is not only just for the monitoring per se, even the predictive measures can be taken by the generative capability that the AI has. So with all the three elements combined, Gen AI can definitely help in improving the overall ITSM process, not just for the IT team, for the other cross-functional team as well, as an enterprise-wide solution.
And I just wanted to add, because see, when we say employees, right? I mean, wanted to talk about when I say employees for a company like TVS Motors, who are the employees, right? So then you have a few thousand employees who are working in our factories, who are manufacturing. You have a few hundred employees who are white collar workers, but they are the TVS Motors direct employees. But what I want to call out is we have a large pool of suppliers and their employees, and then we have a large distribution chain of our distributors who are buying products from us, and their employees are in a way employees in our ecosystem.
Correct.
So the total employee base for an automobile company is not just the few thousand people who are directly working with TVS, but about 20, 30, 40,000 people who are working upstream and downstream. And technology allows us to take care of the well-being of not just your direct employees, but also your indirect employees in the upstream and downstream. So whether it's a sales executive, whether it's an agent, whether it's a factory technician, whether it's a lawyer, right? All of them, can and will get benefited with use of AI in employee experience tools to help them do better in their job, find more time for themselves. Because ultimately, if you are productive, good companies will not ask you to work more. They will allow you to have enough time to upskill yourself and enrich yourself. And I think that's probably is the true advantage that hopefully companies and employees are going to see with the generative AI examples that it's just talking about.
Absolutely. And also, if you can, Anand, add to this that some of the any digital tools or infrastructure that you have currently set it up in your organization to take care of the productivity of the employees and also ensure that there is an experience that is provided.
You want me to give you examples, right?
Yeah.
So for example, see, if you have ever bought a two-wheeler, if you have ever driven a two-wheeler, you would have gone to a two-wheeler dealership in Mumbai. The first person that you meet when you go to a dealership is a sales executive. A sales executive, see, these sales executives are generally 10th pass graduates, undergrads. Their salary is probably 10 to 12,000 rupees. AI is being used, is getting piloted to teach them how to be a better salesperson. AI is being used to teach them how do you answer customers' questions properly. AI is being used to generate customized training content for them, right? When it comes to service technicians, for example, automobile vehicles are becoming complex. Automobile vehicles are now being termed as software on vehicle, right? And the overall workforce, service technician workforce for a large organization like TVS would be anywhere from 25-30,000 technicians in India. You can't have them come into a physical training center to get trained on complex technologies. So how do you use AI, how do you use augmented reality, virtual reality to help them understand the product and learn how do you service automobile. And all large commercial passenger four-wheeler companies, two-wheeler companies are investing in these technologies to help the workforce at the front end become better at their work with technology and AI.
Vivek, if you can share some of the best practices or use cases of Gen AI that Freshworks has implemented, or some use cases for employee experience on Gen AI.
Correct. So with Freshworks, right, AI is not a new element that we have. So we've been having our native AI that is called as Freddy since 2018. So we recently integrated with OpenAI for the generative capability of it, but we've been given to our customers the AI capability since 2018. So if you see in an ITSM process, there are three personas who will be involved. One is the employee themselves. Second is the resolvers, and third is the management folks. So, so we have AI solutions for all the three different personas here. So if I have to start with employees, we do have the Freddy, which is a AI capability where that is powered on the self-serve portal and also chatbots, which can be deployed on their in-app, their employee portals, or even WhatsApp for that matter. Let's say an example, if I have to give an example, if an employee laptop is not working, they cannot send an email to their IT folks to,
because it's not working.
It's not working at all. Yeah. So they just have to take the WhatsApp, use a chatbot to raise a ticket or to connect with the relevant department to get that sorted. So that is there for the employees. Second is for the agents, right? Like how Anand was telling, where for a technician it's difficult for them to memorize each and every solution, right? So the GenAI definitely read through the solution articles or even look at the past resolutions that is given for a certain type of queries. So the GenAI helps in suggesting some of the relevant solutions for the queries that is raised by the employee. So there they can pick and choose the right solution, personalized more using a human touch, and they can respond back. And definitely, as I previously mentioned, rephrasing in a standard tone across the org will again improve the overall employee experience. And finally, the third persona, that is the managers, right? For them to take a prescribed call, they need the right reports in hand. And right now, tools are being used across different departments. Let it be customer support, or let it be the IT, HR, admin, facility, whatever it could be, right? For them to read through all these data, it becomes very, very difficult task. So let's say I give a prompt to the AI, tell me how the IT resolutions are, how are the SLAs of IT resolvers. It gives me the relevant metrics. Let's say if I wanted to know region wise, let's say in Bangalore how it's performing, in North how it's performing, I don't have to really go through different reports for generating these things. So we have something called as Freddy Insights, which is used by the managers to give the appropriate metrics that they wanted to see. And I forgot to mention the product name for the agents, that is called as Freddy Copilot, which is used by the agents to do their mundane tasks.
So Anand, this is from an employee segment perspective. This is my last question. Just wanted to understand, what do you think should be the best practice in terms of employee experience process per se, to take care of the mental health and work-life balance for employees. So any processes that that organizations should look at.
I'm going to talk about what I believe companies should do. So the new generation of employee workforce are looking for an environment where they can be themselves. There's a kind of an informal environment where you can be yourself. There isn't a fear of being reprimanded by your seniors, etc. Right? So work in an ecosystem where you are getting taken care of, and that's more than just tech. It's tech and culture, right? So tech is an enabler, and a lot of EX solution providers are bringing software solutions for companies like us that allows us to offer solutions that are personalized, that allows you to be you, that allows you to keep things to yourselves while taking advantage of employee experience softwares. The respect for individual secrecy, etc., is being maintained, and I think those are some of the things that the modern employee workforce do value a lot. Right. That I'm allowed to be me, and my company knows my personal needs and is being taken care of.
Correct. Great. So I think this was good in terms of the employee experience segment. Now moving on to my next segment, which is the modern customer experience segment. And you work very extensively in creating platforms, mobile application, the web segment of TVS Motors, which is customer focused, right? Which is focused towards users' need. So now again, from the last couple of years, we've seen customer expectations have also evolved. So we all believe it is very important to understand customers' expectations as well. So if you can talk about some of the solutions that needs to be considered, focused, integrated in terms of customer experience.
Sure. So I'm going to answer your question. Maybe I'm going to take a step back. Right?
Yeah.
So I think that the question is, what is it that the customer is looking for?
Yeah.
Right. And the customer is increasingly looking for. Today's customer is very demanding, and rightly so. So they're looking for convenience. They're looking for the brand knows me. So is the brand flexible enough to take care of what I need? Can I still consume the brand and be light on my pocket? Because we live in India where our customers are very value conscious. Most customers value transparency and trust in the products that they buy. So these 4 or 5 things are very important, and brands need to build these 4 aspects in their solutions. Right? And that cannot be just limited to the marketing communication. That has to be followed not at the time of customer acquisition, but throughout the life cycle of the customer consuming and experiencing the brand.
Yeah.
So probably it's a slightly philosophical answer, but I think that's what brands need work hard for. Right? And in that sense, technology plays a very important role for marketeers to bring personalization.
Correct.
Keep the costs down.
Correct.
Keep transparency and trust. Make it very, very easy to consume. All the experiences that you're seeking from the brand can be done through your mobile phone, etc. So in today's day and age, all marketing and sales colleagues of mine and his, they know that for them to be able to deliver the brand promise, technology teams are their best friends.
Right.
And I think and those teams are coming very close to deliver the experiences that our today's customers are asking for.
Sure. And how do you see Gen AI playing a role?
So Gen AI, it has Gen AI largely plays on 2 levels, right? One is the productivity play.
Yeah.
How do you do things faster, better, whether it is about keeping the cost of customer acquisition down, whether it is improving quality of output, etc., etc. I think the question really is that how soon are companies like us going to make Gen AI not an afterthought, but a primary thought. I think all your solutions needs to be AI first, Gen AI first.
Correct.
And not, okay, we have made something, now can I use Gen AI? So fundamentally, all brands need to, for them to stay competitive, for them to stay relevant, they need to realize and practice AI first thinking, Gen AI first thinking as they build solutions for their customers.
Right. Fantastic. Vivek, if you can add how Freshworks is helping from a Gen AI perspective in the customer experience segment.
Sure. In fact, similar to the employee experience, even the customer experience, if you see, there are here again predominantly 3 main personas. One is the customer themselves, right? While customers these days, if you take B2C as a segment, right, where customer experience is very much important rather than B2B, there is a lot of modern messaging channels these days. It's being used. Let it be even Instagram for that matter these days are more picking up. WhatsApp for that matter, Facebook messengers, emails. So they need a unified experience across these channels. How a company can give an omni-channel experience to their customers by definitely adapting to the AI and Gen AI capabilities that is there. This is on the self-serve and also on the customer-facing solutions that is there. Second is on the agent again, or even the admin for that matter. Gone are those days where a developer is required for managing a customer experience platform. These days it's all more of a drag and drop, low-code platforms is there. So right now an admin need not necessarily spend time in learning the platform. They can use the Gen AI to prompt to create workflows automations. All I have to do is prompt the AI probably to create a new SLA, create a new group. There is no need of a configuration in the backend. The AI is going to take care of those things. And definitely the time to train the agents for the response rate. In fact, this was feedback given by many of our customers as well. There was a separate session or the time spent for their soft skill improvement to improve their customer interactions and the response. Right now, there's no need for that, and using the Gen AI, there's a lot of time that is saved for the response and other things. And finally, again for the management personas, if they wanted to read through the lines of the reports, it's gonna give a lot of insights. One such example is there is a milkshake vendor, right? He has a outlet in Koramangala, also in Whitefield. So the CSAT of Koramangala is very good, and the CSAT of Whitefield is very bad. They swapped the employees. Still, it's the same. The CSAT never improved in Whitefield. Then they found it's because of the temperature abuse that's happened during the logistics. So these kind of feedbacks and other things, right, that's going to help the management to take a call. Now they have opened a different the hub near the Whitefield, so that the CSAT started improving. So these kind of reports and insights, Gen AI can definitely help in giving the right metrics to the management to take a customer call. By this, they can definitely improve the overall customer experience.
Anand, what matrix matters you the most when it comes to customer experience, and how do you kind of ensure that the larger team is evolved at ensuring the goal, the business goal?
Sure. I mean, this is a great question. See, I'm very traditional on this metric. The metric that I truly believe in is Net Promoter Score. What does that mean? I mean, I'm sure you guys know, but essentially, how likely are you going to recommend this experience or this product to your friend and families?
Yeah.
And then, of course, that also means that how likely are you going to buy it again? How likely are you going to pay for it again? Because there's a saying, right? I mean, when you like an experience, you tell 2 friends. When you don't like it, you tell 200 friends.
Correct.
So Net Promoter Score, still, in my opinion, there can be some customizations, but I think that is a very important metric to measure customer experience.
Got it. Wonderful. Any last piece of advice that you would like to give when it comes to employee experience and customer experience, Anand, and then we'll move to Vivek?
Sure. See, it's a slightly philosophical answer, but I'll talk about customer experience, right? When we read a lot of literature about customer experience, we hear customer experience limited to, how do you personalize your marketing communication?
Yeah.
Or when the customer has a problem, how do you react faster? And both these things are very important. But what is also fundamentally important about customer experience is that how do you build products and solutions that does not have a problem?
Yeah.
Right. So then, Apple is a great example, right? Where the product reliability is so high that the number of customer complaints per million is significantly lesser than probably a different brand. So customer experience is as important for during customer acquisition and post customer experiences, but also using all of those learnings in product development itself, that you build trustworthy, highly reliable products. Going back to employee experience, employee experience, I truly believe, should not be seen that I want to invest in employee experience tools because I want to become profitable in my business. I think there is all those results do come, but fundamentally good and strong companies truly believe that employee is the is my team. They are the strongest customers that I have, and there should not be any negotiations like last quarter I had less profits, so I'm going to reduce my spend on employee experience tool. Next quarter I have more profits, so it should not be linked to it is correlated, but I think your investments in employee experience solutions should be seen more long term, more strategic, and it should not vary by your quarterly performance.
Right. Any last piece of advice that you would like to add?
In fact, on the similar lines, right, we start with the employee experience. So I think after COVID, when work from home and the hybrid culture started, I think ITSM or the need for the improvement for the employee experience is not a luxury, it's a must to have. I think now the CIOs are already, the CIO leaders are already on the same page where ITSM is looked like a need, must to have. But whereas as a business standpoint, it is looked as the IT expense rather than an investment. So I think the focus or the perspective should be shifted from a cost center to a revenue center is what I see. Next is on the customer experience front. Yes, definitely there is a need for only a customer centric companies can definitely sustain in the market, being in a very competitive world, and there is a lot of multi brands, D2Cs is coming up. So to be relevant in the market, to be sustaining in the business, they have to be customer centric, for which the customer's experiences should be the first and foremost important for them, and providing an omni-channel experience across all the channels and touch points is again an important factor to be considered, is what I would like to tell.
Wonderful. It was a great conversation, but before we end, I have a small surprise. I have kept some rapid fire questions.
Sure.
So I'll be putting across these questions, and it's a rapid fire. So if you can, be as quick in answering, that would be excellent. So I'll begin with you, Anand, first. Describe an ideal employee experience according to you in 3 words.
I be me.
Okay.
That's
Wonderful.
3 words. Yeah.
If you were to work remotely from the same location, what would that place be? Or maybe a different location. What place that would be?
Working from Missouri.
Okay. A tech jargon your team uses on a daily basis.
QCD, it stands for quality, cost and delivery.
Wonderful. Your mantra to maintain work-life balance.
Make sure you have 8 hours of sleep. Personal health is very important, because if you are healthy, you are very productive. Invest in eating well, invest in exercise, invest in getting decent sleep. That automatically allows you to do well at work.
Wonderful. What is your preferred channel to seek support from the brands that you use on a day-to-day basis?
Mobile apps.
Okay. One word to describe you as a consumer.
Demanding.
All right. Okay. Wonderful. That was great. Moving on to you, Vivek. An ideal employee experience according to you in 3 words.
Employee centric approach.
Okay. Okay, that's one. I'm going to consider that as one. Or anything else that you'd like to add?
Probably a stress-free life.
Okay. So work-life balance.
Yes.
Okay. So we'll go with that. If you were to work remotely from same or different location, what would that place be?
I love to work from my home.
Okay. A tech jargon that you use on a daily basis.
I use probably REST-based APIs.
Okay. Your mantra to maintain work-life balance.
In a stress-free life.
Okay. What is your preferred channel to seek support from the brands that you use on a day-to-day basis?
WhatsApp.
WhatsApp. Okay. And one word to describe you as a consumer?
Rational.
All right. Okay. Wonderful. This was great. Thank you so much for joining me on today's episode. I look forward to having many more in future.
Thanks, Khusbhu.
Thank you so much.